On August 25th, the stock of Etsy dropped again, this time by about 8.4% in a day. You can see in the year-to-date stock change, it has been in choppy waters. Over the past several days, it has been dropping fast. Can it revert? Etsy is a quintessential place where people trade their handmade stuff. This is a special allure of this shopping site. However, there are a lot of issues beneath the calm waters. The trouble of Etsy has started because it entered a phase of growth. How Etsy can manage to grow without hurting its brand will become a major test. To open to China or not? That's the question. Etsy cannot just always be a place where shoppers from UK and the United States shop. It has to open to global sellers and global buyers. As of 2024, 45% of merchandise sold are from international sales. Here is a trend of the international sales percentage. As you can see, it has been increasing steadily until about 2019 when Trump's first tariff war started. During the pandemic, it opened up to international sellers. There's a period between 2021 and 2024 where Etsy closed its doors to Chinese sellers. Now, what percentage of the shops, how many of them are from China? This is the question. Etsy removed Chinese sellers in 2021 before reinstating them in April of 2024. Why did Etsy make this decision? Was that a mistake in hindsight? I asked Google what percentage of Etsy revenue are generated by Chinese stores. Here is the answer. Etsy does not release official figures detailing the percentage of revenue generated by Chinese sellers. However, third-party reports give some hints. In 2024, reports indicate that Chinese sellers, most of them pay advertising fees. The advertising revenue was a crucial source of income for Etsy. Most of the sellers in the past do not advertise, so the presence of heavy advertising revenue is definitely tied to international sellers. Part of the all other category in Etsy provide another hint. Most of the Etsy sellers are from United States or United Kingdom. The all others category include China and all other international locations. They accounted for 36% of Etsy sales in 2024. So the sellers from China at least have to be 15 to 20% of all the sellers. And you can imagine that they sell only mass-produced product. Etsy have a hard balance between social responsibility and profitability. If you look at the revenue of Etsy from 2012 to 14, you can see a healthy upward trend. The period where the Chinese sellers are not allowed is shown in this red window. There was a heavy growth of revenue period around 2019 to 2020. This is most likely attributed to COVID-19. However, the growth slowed down. Here's another look at the stock price of Etsy. The Etsy stock price increased between 2018 and 2019 when the revenue started to climb up. The stock truly increased during the COVID era. After COVID and after the Chinese sellers are excluded, you can see the stock price dropped significantly. Even after the Chinese sellers were allowed back in, the stock price never recovered. Here's an interesting article of New York Times at the time of Etsy's IPO. It predicted that Etsy will have a hard fight between its pledge to balance social mission and profit. And indeed, that was the case. It proved a very difficult journey after the IPO. Here's a look at the active sellers number of Etsy. You can see there was a sudden increase trend of sellers, and then it reverted back to normal. But even after the Chinese sellers are allowed back in again, it quickly reached a plateau. Why? Here's another view of the active buyers. The active buyers actually have not increased for the longest time, ever since the COVID era. What it means is that a lot of the revenues that Etsy collected are not from buyers, but from the sellers. Now let me explain to you with some examples. The classic Etsy page looks like this. There's a lot of things that looks handmade, artsy, and cute. Just on my welcome page, you can see most of the products are mass-produced. This bed is mass-produced. Sofa is mass-produced. The glass is mass-produced. and this queued bag is certainly mass-produced. I took a deeper dive of this product. As you can see, this is made by a shop called Unini, and the sales price is about $18, including shipping. It says it's designed by Unini. Looking at the materials, you know that those are certainly not handmade. The operator hails from LA, California, but they are not where the shop is really from. I look up the brand Unini on Amazon, and they also sell on Amazon. So this is certainly a brand operator. You may have this question, what enabled a small operator in China to sell internationally? It turns out that they have a lot of helpers. One of them is a rule called de minimis. You may have heard of it. The de minimis rule, Latin for about minimum things, generally refers to legal or tax provisions that exempt small, insignificant items. Specifically, anything that was shipped internationally for under $800 is considered de minimis rule. So the people who are using this rule do not have to pay duties or tariffs or tax. And this is a rule that benefited the small Chinese sellers. As you can see, each package can hold a lot of these small bags or embroidery items. Now, why is this a big deal? You may ask. The de minimis package volume has hit 4 million per day in 2024. This is a lot. If you count only $100 per item, this is close to $0.4 billion every day. Now, the small Chinese seller also have other helpers. This is a page from the China Post Service. It's in Chinese. And in it, you can see one of the items that they advertise is called Yi Yu Bao. You may not understand this Chinese, but I can translate some of the key points for you. Here it says the shipping takes 7 to 15 days. Here it says we scan and track those items for you. Now, how expensive are those? Let's take a look. The pricing list is shown for different size and different items, and they are placed into different categories for different destinations. The United States belongs to the group 2. The first group is mostly Asian countries. The second group is mostly European and North American countries. For an item about 5,000 grams or 5 kilograms, the shipping cost is only 610 Chinese yuan or less than 100 US dollars. Now, EMS not only do this, but they do this at a scale. They have special planes, sometimes very large planes, to do this de minimis business. So we noticed that the price was about $18. What was the cost of the item? AliExpress, you can see some of these items costing around $1 to $2. Now you may think, wow, that's a lot of profit margin for someone to make if they don't have to pay tariff and their shipping cost is really low. But wait, there's more. Most of the Chinese sellers don't even go to AliExpress. They can go to the original source, such as Guangdong province wholesale markets. In this kind of place, you can bargain with the factory owners directly. Amazing, isn't it? Now, coming back to Etsy, this American brand faces a perfect storm of tariffs, of competition from China, and of pleasing Wall Street. Is this going to have a future or not? Let's wait and see. Thank you for visiting my channel, Liu Stock Observe. In this channel, we provide daily hottest stock gainers and losers. I certainly appreciate your visits and hope to see you again in the near future.